Like most iconic products from prominent luxury brands, the Rolex Datejust was so beautifully created and produced in the middle of the 20th century that it is still in production today, more or less in its original form. The Datejust has evolved with the introduction of new ideas, materials, and technology, but its fundamental structure has remained relatively unchanged. This 2022, an interesting Datejust configuration was introduced. The Datejust 41 in oyster steel. It has a mint green dial and a Jubilee bracelet which looks very enticing. And today, we're going to talk about how to get one of Rolex's hottest releases this year. Welcome to Lex Live, and when it comes to luxury and lifestyle, we've got you covered. But before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Now, let's start. Why should you buy this watch? Finding a Rolex that is more attractive than this one would be difficult. This truly legendary watch is produced along with a streamlined bezel and hands of the Jubilee that are joined with a date display. Where can you buy this? Like most Rolex watches, you can get them from Rolex authorized dealers. You can also try going to the gray market if you don't want to wait for so long. The fact that many customers are treated like royalty in these places significantly improves the quality of the shopping experience. It makes it easier to part with one's money at the transaction's conclusion. Not only did the salespersons do fantastic jobs, but they also kept customers informed at regular intervals through emails. If you want to buy a Rolex in one of these locations and have a good experience doing so, it is necessary to go in with a clear idea of what you are looking for and a fundamental comprehension of the timepieces. In addition to this, you need to be realistic about how you could acquire the wristwatch. How long was the waiting time? It depends, to be honest, but there are ways to get through it easier. To begin, it is essential to maintain a practical outlook regarding the watches that may be offered and to always maintain a minimum of 3 options. If you go there with 3 options in mind, you will increase the likelihood of finding and getting the watch that exactly matches what you are looking for. What is so unique about this watch? Because it is recognizably a Rolex design, many people are drawn to the look of the date. In 1945, when the company was celebrating its 40th year in business, it was the first product of its kind to be made available. The Datejust wristwatch was the first self-winding chronometer wristwatch to include the date, and many people find that to be an appealing feature. Nevertheless, a lot of people have a strong aversion to the Cyclops, which is also present in this timepiece. Many people aren't taking advantage of this feature, which is a shame because it is helpful to magnify the date and makes it simple to spot a fake timepiece simply by looking at the fact that the date window on fakes doesn't magnify. Like most Rolexes, the design of this Datejust is timeless yet conventional. Although this 41mm variant unquestionably has a more modern appearance and is more adaptable, it is a little different than the Rolexes worn by company executives that have these watches in smaller sizes. This does have a more contemporary, larger size to it, and it is the appropriate size for a wrist that measures 7.2 inches. Rolex refers to the color of the dial as mint green. This kind of green is breathtaking to look at. Depending on the light, it can go from silver to various shades of green. In addition to that, it has a modest sunburst design. The photographs available online do not do it justice at all because they are so beautiful. The design of the casings that Rolex uses for their watches is so well thought out that it makes them so comfortable to wear. Oyster steel, Rolex's Take 9041L steel, was used to construct this watch's case. Because of its exceptional corrosion resistance, this alloy is utilized almost exclusively in the technological, aerospace, and chemical industries. This alloy is also finely polished by Rolex, giving the appearance that it is made of a precious metal. Although the watch simply has a date complication, the movement it houses is technically advanced. This model is fitted with a brand new generation movement, referred to as the Caliber 3235, which Rolex is solely responsible for developing and manufacturing. Over 90% of the parts were new when the movement was debuted in 2015, and Rolex protected these by adding an additional 14 patents covering the design of the movement. This allowed Rolex to keep the movement's design proprietary. In addition, it includes a power reserve that is good for 70 hours and an anti-magnetic covering. Anti-magnetism is something to be looked at in watches as well. The Caliber 3235 does this with a hairspring composed of a niobium zirconium alloy. Not only are these materials anti-magnetic, but they are also very resistant to temperature variations, which can also impair mechanical timepieces. The watch's movement is also unique because it is hidden behind a solid case back, which Rolex does a lot. Only a few of their watch models have ever come out with clear case backs, but even though it's a simple freehand watch, it has a very powerful movement inside. The Jubilee bracelet is an important part of this watch. Some people find the Jubilee to be more comfortable, lighter, and better made than the Oyster. The Jubilee bracelet feels solid but light. It is very comfortable and has great polishing down the middle. Also, the clasp is very well made. It doesn't have a secondary lock like a Submariner, but it does have a layer of micro adjustment that adds about 5 mils to the bracelet. This lets you stretch the bracelet a little on a hot day. So, here's the big question. Was it worth it, and how much should you pay? As with all Rolexes, this watch is quite expensive. Online searches often reveal a price range between $7,000 and $8,000 US. It may be pricey for most individuals, but for enthusiasts, though, it is worthwhile. Ultimately, the model you decide to buy is determined by various criteria, including your available funds, the models currently on the market, and of course, your preferences. However, it is important to think about where the watch came from in the first place. The Rolex Datejust has a reputation that is well-deserved for being that of an unusually difficult competitor, particularly for a watch that is not designed for sports. Whether you decide to buy this or not, we hope we gave you a great buying experience. After all, there is a significant difference between possessing something and knowing that it is yours. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, click subscribe, and hit the notification bell to receive updates in our latest videos. Also, feel free to leave us a comment if you want to watch more videos. Head on over to our channel to see more from Lux Live. See you!